There's actually something happening in Nairobi and now spreading to other parts of Kenya. And if you have noticed, is that the number of foreigners in Kenya is increasing rapidly, especially from East Africa and even from Nigeria and even African Americans. But now I'm not talking about African Americans. I'm talking about Kenyans, Africans who are in Kenya, especially from Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania. There are many in the country. And now I've been going around Nairobi, and to my surprise, do you see all those kinyosis in Nairobi? More than 70% of workers there are Burundians. Do you see Gikomba? Most of those employed to sell those items are either Tanzanians or Burundians. Do you see construction industry? Nowadays, majority of people doing jengo there are either Tanzanians or Burundians. And now, there's one reason why Kenyans prefer those people, especially Burundians. I've seen in many kinyosis, Burundians are very loyal. You can trust them, and they're very cheap. A Kenyan will ask for 500 shillings daily, 400 shillings daily from kinyozi. But a Burundian will ask maximum of 300 shillings per day. And if they make 2,000 shillings for you and you pay them 300 shillings, that is decent profit. So this one has spread to the construction industry. Go to Mjeng where there is construction of apartments, you'll find several people working there. Majority of them are from Burundi or Tanzania, Uganda or Rwanda. Why? It is because they are cheap. Local people ask for 800 shillings, 1,000 shillings, 1,200. But those Burundians will ask for 300 shillings. And now, as the one who is constructing the house, I'll definitely go for the Burundians. And that is what is happening. Kenyans go to the construction site and they are told no. If it's 1,000, no. We already have people who are asking for 300 shillings. And this trend is everywhere, in almost every industry. Even Nairobi CBD, go to electronic shops, go to boutiques, go to hotels. They are somewhat cheap. But what can you do as a Kenyan? There's nothing. This thing also started from business. You know, Kenyan business people, they used to overcharge clients. They used to prepare bad food in hotels. They used to sell counterfeit products, pretending that the product is genuine. But when Somali people came, they changed the game. The question changed. Now they are dominating most industries, most sectors in Nairobi. Go to Nairobi CBD, you'll find majority of them operating those hotels, electronic businesses. They are Somalis. They have now gone to real estate. They are building very nice apartments in Isili, South B, South C, Kilimani. In most estates, they buy old buildings, they build new ones, which are very decent, spacious, and very attractive. Now go to Kayole, go to Githurai, go to Pipeline. Those Kenyan landlords build substandard buildings. The estates look very dirty, disorganized, unfinished, and even if you live there, you don't feel the joy of living in Nairobi. But the Somalis are changing this. They are coming with the new ideas. So, as the indigenous Kenyans, if you don't change your ways, the other people will come to show you how things should be done. It's upon us to organize ourselves and also try to do genuine business. You know, the Fundis have a very bad experience, especially in the construction industry. A Fundi will supply, you know, someone will you want to purchase, for example, concrete. A Kenyan, you give a Kenyan that job to supply you concrete. They go there, they buy concrete for 10,000, let's say 8,000 shillings. 10 tons. Now, they're telling you this concrete is 14 tons, and they're charging you for 14 tons, which is let's say 25,000, instead of charging you for 10 tons. That's what they normally do, because we know very well that in the Way Bridge, most of them don't accept more than 10 tons. But those constructing are not aware of that. So the supplier takes advantage of that. So once we discover that, you go for genuine people. And if there's a foreigner who can do genuine business with us, you just prefer them and do away with these Kenyans. This is what happened to even civil engineering in the country, structural engineering. People they're given a tender to build a road, not a big one, very few kilometers. They take 15 years, and the road is very shoddy. Now the government started preferring Chinese, Americans, Japanese. So local engineers are now complaining that they're not given jobs. It's because they're not trustworthy. Some of them are paid. You pay someone, once you pay them, they forget working, they disappear. This is what's happening in the Kinyozi industry also, where you employ someone, he collects money for that week, he disappears with the money. Or he just come to the job at 12 p.m., he collects 1,000, he gives you 200 shillings. You go to people who own chemists, even hardware shop, you employ someone, now you order materials, even wines and spirits. Instead of selling what is in the stock, they buy their own stock, they put in your premise. Once they clear their stock, that's when they start selling yours. So your work is to pay rent for someone to sell for you. And when you come to ask how much have you sold, for that day 200 shillings. But in the real sense, he has sold something like 4,000 shillings. But it was his stock, not yours. This is what is happening, and in future things will change. We are going to take people who are very genuine. I've even seen in the construction sector, people are told to supply cement. You buy from the industry. They go somewhere, it's supposed to be 50 kgs. They go somewhere, they remove 4 kgs from every bag. They bring 46. Since they know you cannot even weigh that to know it's 46 kgs. When you are building a house, it collapses because the material you used, the ratio was not enough, and it's not your fault. So that is what is happening in Kenya at the moment, and foreigners are coming to change. And Kenyans who are spending their money in businesses are now preferring foreigners to locals. They are employing foreigners, they are buying from foreigners. Even Black Americans are coming in the real estate industry. I think you have seen, I told you, many real estate companies are collapsing. It is because you buy a house off plan. You buy off plan, you are told in 3 years' time you are going to complete. 3 years are over, house is not complete, or if it's complete, it is substandard. Instead of using sand, they use clay. Instead of using 3 bags of cement, they use 1.5. And when it rains, it leaks everywhere. Water, the house is very cold, very substandard. You buy a plot, you find that already the person has sold the same plot to 10 people. You fight for that plot for 10 years until you give up. You buy from a real estate company, they fail to deliver the plot to you for several years. You are just, even if you go to court, they corrupt, and the case is delayed for 20 years. So that's what is happening, and I think foreigners are going to do that to change the way Kenyans are doing things. And I'm very happy, especially the way the Burundians are doing, the way Rwandese are doing. The Rwandese are in the streets selling coffee and other things. They're replacing Kenyan hawkers who used to sell substandard things. That is the state of the matter, how issues are at the moment in the country. So you can tell us your experience, and also subscribe if you have not, so that you can reach 1,000, so that you can be able to produce more content.